it is always a pleasure to talk about your films because you are so careful into choosing ones that are very thought-provoking, I think. This one, has simplicity to it, but it does explore a lot of messages that will, make the audience quite engaged.
Good, I hope so.
What did you most enjoy about the fact that it was like that?
Well, those are the kind of movies that I like to see, ones that aren't necessarily shoving messages down your throat, but that provoke questioning, and conversation after the film. And this is one of those.
It does describe, real world versus perfect world. Do you think there's a notion of perfect world? I mean, obviously the movie tries.
Yeah, I think we get in trouble when we try to perfect ourselves, and get rid of the darker side without really examining it. That's all. That's part of it. Part of us, we're capable of some terrible things, but we're also capable of love.
Yeah, it's true. There's two sides to emotions.
That's right, and they're connected.
Yeah, exactly. They work together.
That's it.
So if this, world had no emotions like it's described in The Giver, which emotion would you most miss?
Well, love. I guess love, but I don't know if love is almost beyond emotions too. That's what pops into my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody answers that, and it's true. I mean, I guess because it starts with love and has love for music, for instance, and I'm sure you would miss that, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What do you most enjoy about music in general? About the feeling that music gives you, like in the film?
Yeah. Well, there's so many things. One of the things I love about music is that. Like movies, it's a collaborative effort. You're playing with other musicians, and on the film there were so many wonderful actors that were musicians. We had Taylor Swift with us. We would, between scenes, we'd go off there and break out our guitars and play together. We had great jam sessions up in my room on occasion. With Brenton Thwaites, the young lead in the movie, and Odeya, his leading lady. And the writer, Michael Mitnick, he played. So there's a lot of music in this movie.
Yeah, which makes it even nicer.
Yes.
There's this wonderful message about the transmission of knowledge. What do you think is important when one is a parent or has parents to receive or give in terms of knowledge and protection about certain aspects?
Yeah, well, those are two elements that I really feel having kids of my own, wanting to make them aware of what the world is all about, and that it's not all peaches and cream. There's some darker sides, but at the same time you want to do it at the appropriate time. You don't want to lay all that heaviness on them too soon. So it's a kind of a balance of that. I know my parents, from my opinion, kind of walked that fine line pretty well. I remember my father in the 60s bringing home a book called The Family of Man, and it was about, it was a photo essay on what it's like to be alive on our planet as a human being, and how there's so many different experiences of that. We take this hotel room and the way we live, kind of for granted, but this is very rare, really, how people live in the world. And he made a point. He said, The Family of Man, what a great title, and that's really what's going on here. We're this little tiny speck hurled out into space, and we're all in this together. We're a family. We've got to look out for each other because we're all connected.
Absolutely. That's fascinating. Do you feel that life experience enhances good acting? Is it like a good wine?
I think so. I think, I remember one of my favorite actors that I've ever worked with was Robert Ryan. I got to work with him on a film that we made of the great Eugene O'Neill play, The Iceman Cometh. And Robert started acting kind of late in his life, and that was actually a gift to him because he got to experience all these other jobs, and could put that experience up on screen. I think there's so many different paths to acting, and what makes a good actor. I think it's hard to put make it one path.
Well, how does the great Jeff Bridges describe the great Meryl Streep?
Meryl Streep. Well, met Meryl years ago. Our kids played soccer together. So I, first met her as a soccer mom.
Which
And
I'm sure she
she
played
was splendid.
as well as all her
she
roles.
could, yeah. And I, I'm so enamored of her acting, and thought, oh, it'd be great to actually get to play with her one day, making a movie. And I'm so glad that she did this part. She's so terrific in the role, gives so much to it. But working with her, it was so great because being a master at her craft, she also has a vulnerability and certainly doesn't have it all figured out. She's
always nervous.
She's fresh. Yeah, very fresh. Like it feels like it's all happening for the first time for her, and she brings that her mastery of the craft and her vulnerability and her innocence to everything she does. And look at the results. So wonderful.
Yeah. Seems to be working fine.
Yeah.
Of all the many wonderful roles you've played, which one did you have most fun being? Which character?
A lot of it's a lot popped into my head. Some of them that popped into my head was the Fabulous Baker Boys getting to play with my brother. Bo. We'd have lunch every day and just pinch ourselves, saying, hey, "Can you believe we get to do this?" And working with Michelle Pfeiffer and doing the music, so that was a wonderful experience. But I have a good time with all of them. As I look back, Lebowski, that was a total gas to do that. I have fun when I work.
Yeah, you once told me that the dude became president afterwards when you did the Kentucky.
That's right.
That was really great.
Yeah.
Well, you are known as one of the coolest people in Hollywood. Does anything make you ever lose your cool?
Oh yeah, most things. You asking that question, I find that my coolness goes away because I want to come up with a good answer. So, I just, I don't know, that coolness thing. A bit of it's an act, this relaxed feeling. I'm nervous about 50% of the time. I would imagine, anxious, fearful. Kind of like what Meryl was saying,
Yeah, I think this is what makes it. If you don't have the butterflies,
you want to do you want to do a good job. You want to do justice for things that you want to present to the world. Making movies or playing music, all those things.
Yeah.
Just doing an interview. You want to do it right, and there's kind of a get a little flop sweat going, a little performance anxiety.
Yeah, it's all about stage fright, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully we won't be having
but
it
you
too
feel
much
it
now.
too. So you seem very cool and relaxed. But you have a little.
Yes, absolutely.
You feel it. It goes together, doesn't it?
I'll tell you why as well. Because before I admire a lot of the roles that you've been in, and it's very nice to speak to someone who you've admired on screen, and it gives you a little bit of nervousness. So I think that's very healthy in our profession.